Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining
Hello.
us for session 8 of the Beginner's Guide to G Suite here with Global GEG. Today, we'll be taking a look at Gmail.
That's right.
Thank you very much for joining us. If you haven't watched any of the previous sessions already, then please do feel free to pop over to the Global GEG website. We'll share that link in the chat. Which is globalgeg.org, and then you can watch all of the previous sessions, and then you can rewatch this session and any of the future sessions, and you can also check out all of these resources on that website.
Excellent. Welcome, everybody. So we're going to start with presenting ourselves.
Yes. So I'm Abid Patel. I'm an IT director from London here in the UK. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm Abid_Patel. Feel free to send me a message if you have any sort of questions on anything G Suite related. I'm a Google certified trainer, a Google certified innovator. I'm also one of the founding members here at Global GEG and a leader of GEG UK.
Excellent. Well, I am Pilar Hernandez. I am a ninth grade chemistry teacher. I'm also a certified trainer and innovator. I'm one of the Global GEG leaders, and I'm leader of GEG Nuevo León in Mexico. So my Twitter is right there on my name. It's at _Pilar Charles. And don't feel free to ask me questions, but feel free to follow me. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we're at your service. If there's anything we can do to help out, we're there for you. So today we're going to go over the beginner's guide of Gmail. So a lot of people have already email and know how to manage it. But when it comes to manage it in a way that it's for like a school account or like work account, sometimes it's not done very well. Like sometimes we need to go over some things to learn how to manage our emails properly. So we're gonna go to some basics. We're gonna start with how to get to Gmail, how to open up Gmail, which is the most basic thing, and most people already know, but let's see the ways that it can be done. We're going to explore the Gmail inbox screen for those of you who haven't really seen little details around it. We're going to see how to send and reply to an email that it's like of work. And we're going to see the configuration in quick settings and then in all settings. And at the end, we're going to talk a little bit about the tools that we have when we search for an email so that emails don't get lost. Important ones, that is, with labels and filters. Right on. So we're going to start already. Hello to the people who are looking at us. Hi, Gerardo. Hi, Mel. Thank you for joining us. So let's start with how do we access Gmail? Okay, so the first thing that you would have to have is an open Chrome tab. And there are 3 different ways that you can do this. So you can either type in mail.google.com or gmail.com. Both will take you to the login page. Or when you have a Google page open, you can just go into the waffle menu or also known as the app launcher, and just click on the icon that is for Gmail. So Abid is going to show us that live, right, Abid?
Yep. So we'll switch over to my window here. So I've got a new tab, an incognito tab opened. And if you're not sure what an incognito tab is, Jessica Brogley ran a great session yesterday on Google Chrome. So please do go back and rewatch that session, which goes through some of the features to get used to using Google Chrome. So we're going to start with an incognito tab. So just to demonstrate, you've got mail.google.com, and that will take you to this Gmail introduction page, and then gmail.com will also take you to the very same page. And then in the top right hand corner here, you've got the sign in option. So you just click on sign in, and then we will sign in. And I've got a account that I've created specially for this so that you can see what Gmail looks like when you sign in for the very first time. So when you sign in, if you're signing in for the very first time into your new G Suite account, which might have been given to you by your IT admin or your school or your organization. You'll have to accept the terms and conditions. So we'll go and accept the terms and conditions here. And you'll see it takes you right here to your inbox. I'll also show you just how, if we go to the Google homepage, so we've got the Google homepage here, and there you can see we've already signed in. We've got the waffle menu there, or as Google likes to call it, the app launcher. Just click on the waffle menu, and then you can click on Gmail, and that will take you to Gmail as well.
That is correct. Sorry. So we're going to now explore how does the Gmail inbox screen look like, and what are the little tools that are around it that can help us.
So this is Gmail as you log in for the first time. Because we're logging in for the first time, it will give us some pop-ups highlighting different bits and pieces on the screen. You can see here that Google Meet is now fully integrated into Gmail. So I think quite a lot of us have become quite familiar with Google Meets due to having to work from home remotely. So Google Meet is now there in Gmail, and you can see here you can start a new meeting and access all of your meetings. So we'll click OK to that. But here you go. This is your Gmail window. So the main Gmail window, we'll take a look. I think most people will be familiar with what email sort of looks like, but you've got a menu on the left-hand side here. You've got your main email screen with your emails, and every new Gmail account, even if you're logging in for the first time, will have these two emails from Gmail, which gives you a few tips on how to use your inbox, and also prompts you to download the Gmail app. You've got a few useful settings prompts here to customize your inbox, set a signature, take a look at your desktop notifications. You've got your settings options in the top right hand corner here, and then you've got some integrated apps here in the right hand corner. You've got your Google Calendar, which you can access directly. You've got Google Keep, which is like for taking notes. We've got a session on that coming next week. Tasks, we had a great session on that earlier this morning with Leslie and Maria from Australia. And then you've got your Google Contacts, which will be populated as and when you send emails. But for now, we'll take a look more at the Gmail window. So we've got the left menu here. So you've got your inbox, you've got starred, and we'll talk a bit more about starred emails. We've got snoozed, your sent emails. Every email you sent goes into your sent. We've got drafts, so when you're creating an email, if you don't finish it straight away, it will get put into the drafts. And then you've got the more section. So as you click more, it then expands the menu. You can also expand this menu fully downwards, so you can see everything that's there. If you create any sort of labels, which we'll be taking a look at. You've got your Google Meet here integrated, and you've also got Hangouts Chat. Now, Hangouts Chat is Google's legacy chat option. There is also now Google Chat, and you might find some organizations have Google Chat integrated, some still have Hangouts integrated, and I think slowly everything will sort of move towards Google Chat, but that's if you use the chat function within your organization. And then you've got some other labels here. You've got the important label, which Gmail uses quite a lot of machine learning behind the scenes, and it will mark emails that it thinks are important. You can also do that manually. You can actually search through your chats. Scheduled emails, we'll take a look at how you can schedule an email to send at a later date. All email, so one question that we always get asked is, when you archive your emails, where do these archived emails go? They go into your all email. Spam, we're all quite familiar with spam, anything that gets marked as junk. Your bin, self-explanatory, and then any sort of categories and then labels that you might create, and we'll show how to create labels later on in the session. You can also hover over the emails. When you hover over the emails, you get some options here that are on the right-hand side. So you've got the option to archive an email, to delete it, to mark it as read, and then to snooze an email. So I'll demonstrate archiving an email here. If I click on the archive, you can see it's now disappeared. Where has it disappeared to? Like we said, all mail, and you can see the archived email is there. And the one that is in the inbox still has the inbox label. If I go back to the inbox, you've got the option to delete or mark as read. I can mark this email as read. You can see it's now marked as read. I can also snooze it, and the snooze feature is really great. I think we'll be looking at snooze later on, but I'll quickly show it. I can snooze it until tomorrow at 8 a.m. in the morning. And when I snooze it, it will remove it from my inbox, and then it will re-deliver it to my inbox as if it's a brand new email tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. So it's really useful. But if you want to come back to it, you've got the snoozed option here, which shows you where your where any emails that you've snoozed. You can also tick the box, and that will give you this menu across the top. So again, you've got some of the familiar functions that we showed you just then. Archive, but you've got some extra. You've got report spam, you've got snooze, you've got add to tasks, move to, so you can move it to a different label, and then you can also mark it with any custom labels that you create. And you've also got the additional settings here that allow you to forward, mute, add to start, and a few other things. I think that's everything, isn't it, Billy? For
what if I want to make the screen bigger? If I want to see my email in a bigger screen, what do I do?
Let me move my snoozed message back to inbox, so you can see you can just click and drag your messages that you've moved. You can just drag them back to your inbox. So you can see here I've got my my emails in my inbox here. I can click on settings, and that will take me to the quick settings. Is that what you want to see, Pili?
No, like when you want to eliminate the menu on the left, remember? We have an icon on the top.
Yes, so the burger menu, or as Pili called it yesterday, the biscuit menu.
Sandwich. The sandwich.
Sandwich. Someone called it biscuit, someone called it sandwich. I like to call it burger, but it's Gmail's main menu. But if you click on this button, what it'll do is it will just it'll minimize your left-hand panel. But if you hover over it, it will temporarily pop out. But you can always just click on the menu again, and then that will just pin the menu again to the side.
I find it useful because sometimes, especially when you have already like the Hangouts busy or chat, in my case, I find it distracting. So when I don't want to see it, I'll just hide it so that I can focus on the emails, right? All right. So what is next? Next thing to explore is something super simple: how to send and reply to an email. So we're going to see demonstration again of how do we send an email, and then how would we reply to one.
Cool. So we've got our emails here. So I will just go to Compose to show how to send a new email. So we click the big Compose button in the top left-hand corner, and that will bring up a new window for you to compose your email here. Now, one of the complaints I get from new users is, why is that window so small? I want it full screen. You can simply click on this button here, and that will maximize it to full screen. You can use that as your own preference. I like to keep my Compose in full screen. You can move it back to the small window. You can also minimize it. So when you minimize it, it appears at the bottom there. If you accidentally close it, then what will happen is it will go to your drafts. And because I didn't type anything, it didn't go to drafts, so it wouldn't have gone there. But if I do type something in there, so I will send an email to beginner. I'll say meeting on Friday. And now if I do close it, this time you'll see it's gone into the drafts, and I can come back to that message and it will appear there. If I maximize that again, I can say hello, and then I'll say, shall we arrange to meet next? And then you can see there, just as I was typing, it's now automatically suggested, shall we meet next week? Now that is Gmail's Smart Compose feature, and the Smart Compose is really, really handy. It uses Gmail and Google's artificial intelligence in the background, and what that basically does is it does suggestions for when you're typing. As and when you type emails, it will start to learn from the way you type, and then it will offer you suggestions for completing that particular word or sentence. It's a really useful feature, and I really like it. And if you want to accept the suggestion, you simply press the tab button, and then it accepts the suggestion for you. So shall we arrange to meet next week? Regards, Abid. And so then what I can do, I've got some options along the bottom. I've got the formatting option here. Obviously, I've got the send button. Next to the send button, I've got the schedule send. I'll show that at the end. I've got the formatting option. So if I press that, it will take me through the usual formatting, undo, redo. I can change the font, and then I can just make a whole lot of other formatting changes that I might want to make. I can attach files if I want to attach a file, just like you do with email usually. Insert a link if I want to insert a link. And one thing that I like to show is you can always just simply put in a link. So if I put in a link to the BBC website, for example, that will change to a link. But sometimes you might want to say, click here for the BBC website. And rather than put a colon and then put the actual address, you might want the word here to be a hyperlink. So when I do that, all I can do is I can select the word here, press insert link, and then I can put the web address in here, bbc.co.uk, and then the text to display is automatically filled in because I selected it. But if it wasn't selected, I could write the text there. I can also click on this link here that will test that the link actually works, and that opens in a brand new window, and that shows that the link works. But I can just click OK, and what you can see now is it's now changed the word here to that hyperlink, and I can click on that link and go directly to that website. So that's something really useful. Emojis, we all love our emojis. You can insert your emojis directly into your email from there. Insert files using Drive, that's a really, really useful thing. Sometimes what happens, the difference between using insert files using Drive and attach files is when you attach an email, when you attach a file to an email, you lose control of the attachment. Once that is sent, it's sent, and the person receiving that email will always have that attachment with them. What you can do with using insert files using Drive is if you have any files in your Google Drive, I don't have any at the moment, but because it's a brand new account, but if you had any files using Google Drive, you can attach, for example, a Google Docs or a Google Sheets or a Slides document, and then click on Insert. And then what that will do is it will send a live document or share a copy of the live document. And then when you press send, you'll get an option to give permission to the person who is who you're sending it to. So I might just quickly demonstrate that. If I go to drive.google.com and I'll create a new Google Docs. I'll create it from a template, and I will say I want to send this essay. This is an essay. It's now saved in my Google Drive, as you can see there. I can now go back to my Gmail. I can go to Insert Files using Google Drive, and you can see my essay there. and then I can click insert, and you'll see it will insert it as a link to that Google Drive file. And then when we send the email, you'll see the option for the permissions. You can attach a photo. You can either select one from your Google Drive. You can select one from any albums you might have. You can upload a photo from your computer, or you can paste an image paste a URL to an image from the internet. We've got confidential mode. Confidential mode is something that you can send. You can send emails that will kind of delete themselves after a certain period of time. So I can send an email if I'm sending something that has that I want time sensitive. I can set it to expire in 1 day, and so then anything on that email will only be visible for 1 day, and then after that it won't be visible anymore. I can also choose to require a passcode. So if I have someone's mobile number, I can choose to send them an SMS passcode, and then in order to open that email, they'll have to put that passcode in. So if I'm sending something really, really confidential, I can use this mode. And you've also got signatures, but we'll look at signatures in a bit. The thing I said I'll show you was schedule send. So you can click on the arrow next to send. I can just click send, and that will send the email straight away. But I want to schedule this one to send tomorrow. So I can click schedule send and say I want to send it tomorrow at 8 a.m. in the morning. And then you can see, because I shared the document from Google Drive, it's prompting me that this person that I'm sending the document to needs access to view the file. So I can say that I can give them view, I can give them comment or edit access. I might want this person to edit the document with me so we can work collaboratively together. And then I can simply press send. And what will happen is that email, there you go, send schedule for tomorrow at 8 a.m. If I decide that I want to make, there's the undo send option. We'll take a look at that in a bit. We've lost that window, but that doesn't matter. But because it's scheduled, it's gone into the scheduled option here. So you click on scheduled and you can see it's still there. And if I want, I can cancel the send and make some changes, or just leave it there and it will send tomorrow morning. But I'll show you quickly, cancel send, and that will take me straight into the draft mode. If I then decide, yep, you know what, I want to send it straight away, I can just click send, and you can see it's now gone into my sent folder and it's now sent straight away.
Yeah. So what if I need to send the same email to several people, but I don't want them to know that I'm sending it to several people? It's like something that happens sometimes at work, where the boss needs to send the same message to different people, probably like a call of attention, but they don't want the others to know they're being, like told off or something.
So I can go to I can go to the compose window again, and you can see on the right hand side here, you've got CC and BCC, or as they used to be known, carbon copy and blind carbon copy. So if I want to send an email to someone and I can put their email address in the to field, and then if I want to CC someone, I can just CC them and put their email address. I'll do planning@gmail.com. And so now with that, when I send it, it'll be sent to the address in the to, and also the planning@gmail.com will be in the same in the CC, and they'll both be able to see that the email's been sent to each other. But if I don't want anyone to see who the email's been sent to, I can leave both of these fields blank, and I can go to BCC and I can put all the addresses in here. So I've got there, and I've got planning. And so now I can send an email and say, I can send this email, and what will happen is it will get sent to these two addresses, but what will happen is neither of these recipients will know that this has been sent. And when I go back to my sent emails and go there, you can see the 2 is blank. But because I sent them, I can see that I BCC'd both of these people into the BCC option, but they won't be able to see who it's been sent to.
I mean, they'll see that it was sent to them. To them, it will appear like it was sent directly to them, but without the other addresses where it was sent. For instance, if you're working in a school, as a teacher, you can do this with like the students, but as an administrator, you can do this with the parents. You want to send the same message to several parents, and you don't want to expose anybody. You put it as a BCC so that they can only see that it was sent to them. An important thing is what Mel is mentioning right there. So how do we reply to an email? It's an important thing what she's saying. So they all like to hit reply all. So what is the difference, Abid, in reply and reply to all?
Yeah, so I'm just sending myself an email, which should hopefully arrive now. So you can see that I've sent myself some emails that have already arrived. I'm just waiting for another one to come through. So whilst we're waiting for that, I'll show this one. So this one is just an email that's been sent to me, and saying, shall we have lunch next Wednesday? You can see you've got a reply option there that I can press, or I can press the reply icon in the top right here. I can also click on the 3 dots and press reply here as well. I can also forward the message if I want to forward it to someone else. But in this case, I just want to quickly reply. Gmail does like to give you these nice warnings to say, make sure you're sending this email to someone you trust. This person doesn't belong in your organization, but that's okay. I know who this person is, and I trust them, and so I can reply and say hello, and you can see the Smart Compose is automatically filling in the person's name. In this case, it's me. Say hello, Abid. Yes, that's. Oh, there you go. That works for me. That works for me just fine. I see regards. And then I've got the option to send there. Now, if I see this email that's just come in, now this email you can see has come to me, and it's also come to the planning account. Now I've got two options here now. I've got the option to reply. I've got the option to reply to all. And again, I've got the option here to reply and reply to all. Now, the way this Gmail account is set up is the default is to reply. But I might want to reply to all so that everyone gets the message. But sometimes you need to be careful as to when you reply or reply to all, because if a mass email is being sent out to the entire organization, you might not want everyone to see the reply that you send. So here I can click reply, and when I click reply, you can see it's only populated the one email address. If I trash that and do reply to all, you can see now it's populated both email addresses. And so when I type the response and click send, it will get sent to both email addresses. I can also, when I'm doing that, add more email addresses. I can add more into the to, I can add more into the CC. I can also add people into the BCC, so that when I send a message to Abid and to the planning account, I can also copy someone else in, and neither of these 2 accounts will know anyone who I've sent it to in the BCC. So that's some reply options that you have there.
I think it's super important to know the difference. And why is it that when you're sending an email to several people and you don't want this to occur, the reply all mistake Mel is mentioning, like why do they like to click reply all? I think it's not knowing the difference. So this is why sending an email in blind copy in BCC is better when you're sending it to a group, and if they reply only to you. That is the one that sent it. And then in the mass emails that organizations sometimes send, a lot of people have the habit of replying like, I don't know what the word is in English to say, like, oh yeah, I got it, like I understood it, thank you. and they, instead of replying to a person who sent it, which might be the case, reply to everybody. So it becomes, and we're gonna see that when we see like how the emails arrange. It becomes a conversation with 1,000 emails that everybody got, which is not needed. That's why it's important to know the difference between reply to one, reply to all, sending to one, sending to several that you don't want to share with. Is not like a collaborative email, right? Right, Abid?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and I think it's really important to 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 know the difference, especially as we we've been inundated with emails having to work from home, and I think we need to take people's well-being into account and
Of course.
not flooding people with more and more emails. So only reply all when is necessary. I think is good email etiquette, and to keep
Exactly.
emails to respond, and that's where the schedule send comes in really great.
I was
If
gonna
you are
say.
working outside of hours, then use the schedule send so that you're not inundating people with
Yeah.
notifications outside of the working day.
Especially if you have like people under you that you're sending like things that are like for the next day. Why would you send it like at 11 p.m.? You can schedule send it to like 7 a.m. and they're gonna get it in the morning when it's supposed to be, right? So the next thing that we're gonna take a look at is how do we see our inbox? The way that you were seeing it was like the default way, the way that you were seeing all the emails, but there are ways that we can change that. So Abbott is going to show us how to access quick settings and what happens when we click on it.
So um, we'll share these resources at the end of the session, and they'll be available on the Global GEG website. But they just go through in a bit of detail as to what exactly the several options are. But if we go back to our inbox here, you can see the default way that Gmail likes to show us our emails is just a list of our emails. Now, if you're sort of coming from Outlook, if that's something that you've been using historically, you might like to switch on the reading pane. That's something that I like, but there are loads of options that Gmail give you. Because we're starting with a new Gmail account, it's given us these handy tips at the top here. So we can either click on this customize your inbox, or we can simply click on the quick settings button here in the top right hand corner. So if we go to quick settings, you can now see all settings. We'll get onto that in a little bit. But here we've got some of the density options. So you can see that at the moment it's set to default. I think the default is comfortable, because when I change to comfortable, there's nothing. But if you take a close look at the way the emails are spread out, if I press compact, you can see it just squishes everything sort of up together. So if you've got loads and loads of emails in your inbox and you want to see everything in a quick list, you can select the compact option. But I prefer to keep it as default. You can choose to change a theme if you want. There are a few options for different themes here. We'll want to go on holiday, and this beach looks really nice. So I can click that, and it changes my background to this nice beach option. That might make me feel a bit less lonely at home, but for the time being, we'll go back to the default theme. And then here you've got your inbox types. So you've got the default section, the default view as it is here in Gmail. You've got also this important first. So I click on that, and you can see the machine learning has automatically suggested that this is an important email. And as you get more and more emails in your inbox, the machine learning will start to detect things that it marks as important, or things that you mark manually as important. So we showed there that to mark an email as important, you can tick the email, click on the options here, and you can say at the moment it's marked as important. If I don't want it to be important, I can mark it's not important. And you can see it's not moved. It should have moved, but we'll take another one and we'll mark that as important, and then it should move up, shouldn't it, Pilly?
You can just refresh to see if that will make it. Sometimes it
There you
takes a
go.
moment.
It's moved it now. Sometimes it takes a moment. Sometimes it refreshes instantly. But you can see that that's the important way. There's also unread first. So any unread emails are always at the top. So you can see it's moved all of my read emails to the bottom and all of my unread at the top. Starred first. So if I have any emails that I've starred, so I've not starred anything, but I might star this email, and then I might star this email. And if we change the view, you can see now it's moved them to starred. I can also see them in the starred section here. I've got priority inbox, which shows important and unread messages, or should do. We'll just refresh that again. Okay, didn't move the unread ones, but okay, that's priority inbox. It might just take a few moments, but it'll put all of your important and unread messages at the top, your starred in another section, and then everything else in another section. That's some of Gmail's priority sections. And then you've got multiple inboxes, and multiple inboxes will show you all the different labels. So your starred, your drafts, your inbox, and it'll show you everything in sort of one window. I personally like to keep it as default. And then what I like to do is I like to turn the reading pane on. So you've got the option for the reading pane. So at the moment, there's no split on the reading pane, but I like to have the reading pane on the right-hand side. So we will reload the window, and you can see now it's now given me the reading pane on the right-hand side. So I can click on an email and I've got the reading pane there. I can also make the reading pane bigger, or I can make the preview window, the list bigger. I like to keep the preview window, the reading pane window, the biggest, and have my emails along the side. You can also have the reading pane at the bottom of the inbox. So you can see your list at the top, and then you can see your reading pane at the bottom. And there's also conversation view. Now, conversation view is something that is kind of like what we like to refer to as Marmite and Vegemite. You either hate it or love it. And when Gmail first was introduced, I hated conversation view, but I've kind of grown to like conversation view. So you can see here, there's this inbox there's this email that I've been sent that says, "Hi, shall we have lunch next Wednesday?" And then you've got my reply here saying, "Yep, that works for me." And I think that's really useful to have in conversation view, so you can see all of your conversations condensed under one email thread. You can either choose to turn that on or off. If I turn it off here, you'll see it in a more traditional manner. So you can see here this message, and then it'll say that I've already replied to this message, and then I can go to the sent items to see the message that I've replied to.
I
But
think it's a situation of changing social media that has made us accept conversation mode better, because that way we can see like the history of the conversation. And before social media, that was not like a thing, right? So it wasn't important. That's why we didn't like it. For instance, I don't do reading pane, but you probably do because you were maybe used to using Outlook, and Outlook gives you that. So that makes you more comfortable. But for me, I rather see my inbox and then just go and open an email. My customized inbox is with several parts. I have first the unread. I have a selection for starred, for important, and then for everything else. So I have like 4 different stacked inboxes. And that helps me, but everybody is going to do it the way that they find easier, more practical, right?
yeah, and also in the default option, you've also got these categories here. You've got primary, social, and promotions. So as you might get some emails from that Gmail categorizes as from social networks or media sites, you'll see them appear in this list, and any sort of promotions, you'll see them appear as well. You'll also see everything in your primary. You can, if you wish to, turn that off. If you want to see everything in just one section, you can just go to the customize option here, and then you can just untick those. And as you untick those, everything just appears in your primary, and that's sort of the more traditional method of viewing your emails. Again, it comes down to your personal preference, how you wish to see your Gmail. This is just my personal preference, but you can change that at any time simply by going to the quick settings there.
The quick settings, that's correct. And social and promotions is like for when you sign up for services. Gmail kind of like immediately recognizes those and then puts them in those inboxes. So what I always do is I unsubscribe, so I don't like those inboxes. I unsubscribe and I don't get them. But they used to be for like notifications from Facebook. It would send it to social because that was the default originally, and things like that. So right now you don't need it. You can take them off, and that will be done. Now, settings. Sometimes when you go into all settings can be overwhelming. So we're going to go only through just a number of them that are like basic ones that you should consider. So the quick settings can help you like modify things like Abid showed you in a very quick way without having to even press save. As soon as he clicked on it, you saw how it changed. But when you go to the all settings, you have to check all the different categories and then save the changes or nothing will happen. So we're just gonna go onto basic ones that can help you optimize your inbox and your Gmail. So we're gonna see how to do the undo send option, how to make it last longer or make it go away. We're gonna see how to change button labels. Abid is going to show us that how to make a signature for our emails that it automatically appears and we don't have to say, oh, regards, Billy. We can just have Gmail do that for us. And we're going to see how to reply automatically when you are out of office hours or you're on vacations. And because Reshma mentioned it above in the chat at some point, how do we reply always? If I always reply more or less the same content, how can I save time on it? So that's what templates are for. And Abid is going to show us how to do that on an email. Right, Abid?
Yep.
Let's go back to the live demo.
So to get to your all settings, you simply click on the settings gear icon in the top right-hand corner, and then go to see all settings. Now, like Pili said, it can get very overwhelming in the settings. There are loads and loads of settings here that you can see under general, and then you've got lots of different settings throughout the entire settings section here. But you can take a look at those at your own leisure and go through them. And it's a case of trial and error. You won't really break email by playing around with those, but definitely look at some of the articles in the Google Workspace Learning Center, which we'll share links for at the end. But we'll take a look at undo send. So here in the general section, you've got undo send. So by default, when you press send on an email, by default, undo send is turned on, and it gives you 5 seconds to click that undo button in case you notice that you've made a mistake or you've sent an email to a person that you shouldn't have. You've got 5 seconds to press undo, and then it will bring you back to the draft window. If we feel that we need longer, then you can simply change that to between 5, 10, 20, or a maximum of 30 seconds. I like to set it as 30 seconds, just to give us that sort of buffer and peace of mind. But just note that when you press send, it won't send the email straight away. It'll delay it for 30 seconds, and then after 30 seconds, the email will be sent. Personally, I don't think that's too much of an issue. I'm happy for an email to wait for 30 seconds so I can retract it in case I make a mistake. But it's again down to your preference, but 30 seconds is nice, especially as we think more about data protection and things like that. We need to make sure we're not sending emails to and information to people who we shouldn't. So mistakes can happen. So it's always good to have that option.
It also helps when you said, like, I'm attaching a document and then you forgot to do the attachment. That's
yes,
so
and
common.
I have seen instances where the Gmail artificial intelligence and machine learning comes into play, where if you say in your email, I've attached a document, and you haven't attached it, it will sometimes, not all the time, but it will sometimes pop up and say, you said
Where's
you
the attachment?
attached the document, but did you forget? So it does now prompt you, which is a recent thing, but it doesn't always. So the undo send again is really useful for that.
Yeah.
The other thing we said we'll look at is button labels. So if I quickly go back to the Gmail window again, so one of the things I always get told is when I click on an email, no one knows what these icons actually do. So you can hover over them and you can see archive, report spam, delete. But you might be a visual person. I know I am, and I want to see instantly at a glance what those buttons do. So when I go into my settings, you've got an option here further down the page called button labels. You set that to text. And then if you go down and save, once you get back to your inbox, what you'll see is when you now hover over, when you now click on an email, it's now changed all of those icons to text. So I can see straight away what those buttons are for. Again, it's a preference thing, but I really like being able to see them directly. Being a visual person, if you like icons, that's entirely your preference. But
it's kind of like an old thing, because this is how it used to be. Later on, they made it like prettier, and prettier implied putting icons to it. So they're giving you that choice of going back to the original way that that email was, right?
That's it. And it's nice to have those options, and they're really good for accessibility, for example. The other thing that we would look at is signature. So signature, if you want to add a signature, so again, it's in the general settings option. Just further down the page, you've got signature here. At the moment, I've not got any signatures, so I can create a new signature. So I can create this signature, and I'll call it work signature. And then I might say, it's my work signature. I might say, kind regards, Abid. And then I might put my email address, which is gmail@abidpatel.com. And so that's my email address. And so whenever I send a signature, whenever I send an email, it will automatically append, or actually it won't automatically append a signature because I have to select this option here. So to say for new emails, use my work signature. And then on reply or forward, if I want every reply or every forward that I send to have my signature, I can also select the work signature there. I might choose to keep that off because I don't want to flood everyone with my signature. I can also create additional signatures. So I might have a signature for home and say, and in that signature, I'll say, thanks, see you later. And that's just a bit more informal, but that's my home signature and that's my work signature. And then I can select again which one I want to choose to send. There's also this option that says insert signature before the quoted text in reply and remove the dash line that precedes it. Now that, if I quickly go to compose, you can see here I can write my email. So I've got my email here, and then you can see it's put a dash and it's put my signature. Now, if I don't like that dash, I can simply go and tick that box. And so then quickly go and save again. And then this time when I go to compose, you can see it's taken the dash away. So I can just paste my, or write my email, and you can see it just appears as if I've been typing it in the email. So it's a really handy thing. And then the final thing we were going to look at was out of office replies, or I know in America they like to call it vacation responder. So here I'm going to say that I'm on holiday. So I've been on holiday since Christmas Day, and then my last day of holiday I go back to work, or my last day of holiday is Sunday the 3rd of January. I go back to work on the 4th. I can say out of office. Then I can type in the email to say, type in the message to say, sorry, I'm away on a break. And then I've got options here to say only send a response to people who are in my contacts. So as I populate my contacts, only that response will go to anyone that is in my contacts, or only send a response to anyone who is in my domain. So my domain is called Abid Patel, but anyone within my organization. So if your organization is called, I don't know,
like the school.
Yeah, then it will appear here. It will say only send a response to people in my school. But I want this to go to everyone, so I'll just simply click Save Changes. So now you can see a big yellow bar comes at the top to say end of office, out of office. I can choose to end the out of office now if I'm back in the office, or I can just click here and go back into the settings. And I can say, yep, I'm not out of office, so I can just simply turn the out of office reply off, save changes, and then you can see the bar goes away.
This is good when you have established a schedule to respond. So if you need to respond within your office hours, that you're actually in the work, like 8 to 5 or whatever, and you don't want the person who's sending you an email to think that you're not replying. You can just have that, and they'll receive the response. Oh, okay, so they got the email, but they're out of office. They'll reply when they can.
Yeah.
Right.
And the final setting that we were just going to show, because we'll demonstrate it in a bit, is in the advanced section, and it's templates. So you just click on advanced in the settings, and then you go to enable and save changes. And I'll quickly show templates. So if you go to compose an email, if you click on the 3 dots here for more options, there's the option for templates. Now what we want to do is we want to type an email first to save as a template. So I'll say, don't forget to feed. Oh, the subject will say, feed the cat. And the email will say, don't forget to feed. If I need to send a response to whoever's at home, send an email to whoever's at home to make sure that they feed the cat, and I have to send that regularly because whoever I live with is very forgetful, I can just say, click on the 3 dots, template, save the draft as a template, save it as a new template, feed the cat, click on save. If I now go to compose a new email, I can simply click on the 3 dots, template, and then you can see here, feed the cat. I can open that, and it quickly, automatically just populates the template there. So you've got that option, feed the cat. So that's template.
And that's exactly what Rashma was mentioning on the chat. That said, like, how do I do it when I have to more or less reply the same content? People that work in administrative offices at school usually have to send similar emails to parents that are asking for what is the process to do this or that, like subscription to a class or something. I don't know how to call that. So if they have templates, they can just reply very quickly without having to retype the same email over and over again. So it's pretty useful to have a template ready. Okay, so the last thing that we're going to go over is about how not to lose an email. How do we do the searching tools, and how do we create a label and a filter? Now, when you go back into the slide deck later on, you're going to have a little GIF right there to show you how to create a filter. But Abid is going to do us the marvelous job of showing us live how to do this. So let's go.
Thank you, Billy. Right, so first we'll show how to create a label. So you might be, if you're coming from Outlook, for example, you might be used to putting emails in folders. In Gmail, you mark emails with labels. And to create a label, there's several ways that you can create a label. In the left-hand menu, or if it's minimized, you can hover over it, or you can just click on it to pin it. We'll click on the More section, and then go to the bottom, and you've got Create New Label. Now, I've received lots of email from this person called Abid, so I'm going to create a new label, and I'm going to call it Abid. And then simply put there, you see there's the new label from Abid. Now, if Abid is a very important person and I want to highlight all of his emails, then what I will do is I'll click on the three dots, and then I can change the label color as well. So I can put this nice blue label. So now whenever I mark an email from Abid in the inbox, I'll see a nice blue label with the name of the label there. So to mark an email with a label, you simply click on the email, and then you go to the labels option, and then I can tick the label Abid, click on apply, and you can see there I've now got the nice visual blue label there, and also I've got the label here. So if I wanted to remove the label Abid from this email, all I can do is I can either click on the labels menu again and then untick that, or I can click the cross next to the label in the actual email, and then you can see it's not labeled Abid again. But if I just label it and then go to the actual label, you can see that that email that I just marked is now in the Abid label. If I go back to my inbox, I can select multiple emails and mark them as Abid, and then you see they all get marked, and then I can also unmark them just by selecting multiple emails there.
Now, when you have like 5 emails, that doesn't take that long. But if you have to look for them or want to select them all automatically, that's what the searching tool is for on top, right? Where you have a little magnifying glass.
Yeah. So I can say that if I want to search for all the emails that Abid has sent, I can simply type my name, and then you can see it's now picked up every email that Abid Patel, that says the word Abid Patel. If I want to specify it to just my email address, you can then see these are the ones that have come from my email address. There are also these nice, what Google calls search chips. So I can say I want an email from Abid's email address, and it was sent at any particular time, or older than a week, or older than 6 months. Does it have an attachment with it? It's been sent to me, or sent to Abid, or it's unread. So if I select unread, for example, then all the other emails will go away, and it'll show me the one email that is still unread. I can also exclude any emails that have been marked as social or promotions, and there's also any advanced features. And so you can go in the advanced features and you can really get granular with some of these advanced features, what the subject is, does it include any particular words, has it got an attachment? This one is really nice if you're using Google Chat or Google Hangouts and you don't want to include any chats from this particular person in your search. You can just tick this button and it won't show you any chat messages you've received. It'll only show you the email messages, and there's some granular extra settings that you can see there. But
it's in the advanced features that we can also filter out the emails. Now, filter it's the same as a label, but it's done automatically, and it can also clean up your inbox, like to say, I want to get all the emails from this particular email address or this particular person out of the inbox so that I can easily access them. I was telling Abid when we were going over this that one of the things that has happened recently, that we are using Meet, right, to have meetings or to have classes. And one of the things that Meet is doing right now is sending us a document with the attendance of the meet. And it just fills up your inbox if you're having several meets in a day. So you can just filter them out so that it doesn't crowd your inbox. And that's one of the things that Abid is going to show us, right, Abid?
Yeah. So as you can see, I've got lots of emails from myself here. Now, if I want to automatically filter them, I can do that in several ways. I can click on the search options here, type my email address in manually, and then click on create filter. But I can also, in the actual email, click on the three dots and then filter messages like this. And doing it this way is really useful because it pre-populates the email address for me. I can say any other options here, so I can include if it's a particular subject, but I can say create filter. So I can now say that when a message arrives from abid@gmail.com, I can either choose to skip the inbox and archive it so it doesn't appear in my inbox at all. It'll go straight to the all mail. I can mark it as read. I can choose to star it. I can apply a particular label, which is exactly what we want to do in this case. So we'll tick that box and choose to mark it as Abid. I can choose to forward it if I want. I can choose to, if I don't like Abid, but why would you not like Abid? I can choose to delete it straight away. If the messages get sent to spam and I don't want it to get sent to spam, I can make sure to never have those messages sent to spam. That might be something useful to take already. And then there's a few other options. I can also, if I receive a particular email, I can choose to send a template as a response, mark it as important, and then a few other settings. This one here is really, really useful right at the bottom. So I might have hundreds of emails that I've received from someone. And what Gmail will do is once I create this email, if I click on, once I create this filter, sorry, if I click on this box right at the bottom, you can see it will match it, it will apply the filter to all of the matching conversations. So as soon as I do that now, once I click on create filter, what will happen is as soon as I go back to my inbox, there you go, you can see it's now found all the emails that have come from myself, and it's labeled all of them as Abid. I can then choose to select all of them and I can archive them so that they're not in my inbox anymore. And once that I've archived them, if I need to go back to them, so I can always go back to the all mail, but all mail will show me everything that's going on in my inbox, and there might be a lot of stuff that's going in. So what I can do is I can just simply go to Abid there, and you can see all the emails that have been filtered are now in this nice handy label.
Yeah, this is super useful when you want to filter out the emails from your boss or your head supervisor, and you don't want them to get lost. You put like a very colorful label, and if you want to archive it later, and you don't get them lost because you already have them labeled automatically from that email address. So that is very, very useful.
I've just sent myself another email, so I should automatically pop in any second, and you'll see, there you go. So an email just came in, and you can see it's automatically labeled it with Abid because it met the rules. It matched the rules on the filter. So that's a really handy thing. So if you receive emails from your boss, for example, you might want to always make sure that you mark them under a filter. So that's just some of the useful things I like to do if I receive emails from a particular company. So I'll have lots of labels set along the side, and so then any emails from a particular company, if you buy things from Amazon quite often, for example, you can do that so that every email from Amazon is in its own label, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, like the GIF I prepared, it's for Uber Eats because I receive coupons and I don't want them to get lost. So yeah, they go in
And
archive.
we've all been ordering quite a lot from Uber Eats as we've been sat at home,
Definitely.
lockdown, missing restaurants.
Definitely. Okay, so I think that was it for our presentation. So we thank you very much for having seen it. We hope it's useful for you and you get at least one or two new tips if you already had been using Gmail, or if you hadn't and you're going to start because your company recently changed to it, that you can find some useful tips for you to manage your inbox better.
Yeah. So the only other thing that I wanted to quickly show is the Gmail cheat sheet. So there are loads of resources on the Google support pages on what's now called the Google Workspace Learning Center. So if you just simply do a search for Google cheat sheet or Gmail cheat sheet, sorry, and then it's usually the first link that comes up, and then you can simply click on that, and then you can go to the cheat sheet where you'll find some really useful hints and tips on what we've shown today. And then there's lots and lots of other Gmail related tips and beginner tips and intermediate and advanced tips. And Penny shared the link to the cheat sheet in the chat. But also, if you want to see the resources for this presentation again, you can find them on the Global GEG website. So if you just go to globalgeg.org, we have a sub-page for the Beginner's Guide series that we've got here, and then you can watch all of the previous sessions that we've done and the slide decks, and we've got some new sessions coming soon. After this, we've got one tonight for Google Slides, and then we've got Google Sheets and Forms tomorrow, and then next week we've got Jamboard and Google Keep coming. So do definitely keep an eye out on this page to see all of the previous and upcoming sessions. But I think that's rounds that up, doesn't it, Billy?
That is all. That is all from us.
Thank you very much, everyone, for watching, and do follow us on Twitter. Feel free to ask any questions if you have any. But we look forward to seeing you again at a future session. Thank you.
Thanks for watching.